Just let me share all from this person. If they ever tag me, share.
I hadn't planned. I don't know.
Right.
Plan on it.
Is this it? Edmund! I thought you were right.
Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, it's Johnny.
Episode
This is our
And lift off of Discover.
about a flood.
We're gonna die.
Here's the flood.
We're gonna die.
I'm Raymond Arroyo.
We can do it.
We'll see you next time.
Yay! Welcome to the show! Yay! Oh, look who's here! Hey!
Here we are. Are we recording,
Yay!
Kyle?
Oh, what?
We're
actually
on the
recording
show.
for the first
Wow.
try. I was pretty
This
happy.
isn't thrown
man.
together at all.
All right, we got the show going on. Things are going on. Kyle's in the closet. He's our producer. He's here.
We're not gonna make the closet
I mean,
joke.
it
can.
seems like we're seeing some of that stuff going on there, but probably not. We also have a live studio audience. Austin
Woo!
There's hundreds of people
so
here right
many
now.
people here.
from Nailing Keys,
But-
serial entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth, real estate baron.
Texas.
If you're looking
The
for
world.
a house to sell or to rent
Or buy.
watch camera.
We
Or
need to start a
buy,
timer this
Allie.
time, but
Or buy.
Welcome back to the show. We are just deep into COVID territory right now.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is where? It does, but we'll worry about that later. Next time we'll do that. Next time we'll do that.
Next time.
Also, if the battery goes out on the
trashing
main
soda.
camera here, we know how to switch that. So we got a really exciting show, but first of all,
We have a very exciting show.
do we?
You said it first, so
But first of all, we just got to clear the air here. Allie, I just wanted to say,
oh, good.
so we are all in a
Oh,
group.
this
We're
thing.
all in a group
Okay.
text. And Johnny, you're gonna have to do good mic technique.
I'm ready.
There you go. So Allie, as you know, we're all in a group text,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we have fun. And
She's already done.
okay, and here's what's difficult about my life. Okay, all of our
Yes.
lives, we all work for churches, and we all are just passionately trying to follow the Lord. But sometimes we gotta like blow off a little steam. We kind of cut up a little bit. And I'm not going to blame you for this. I'm going to take full responsibility for what happened.
Yeah, you should.
But I will say, I love making you guys laugh. Like I love making people laugh. And so sometimes I kind of push the boundary a little bit.
I'm going through our text to see what happened.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, you missed it?
No, I don't think I missed anything.
so I just wanted to say that I think I kind of crossed a line. And I wanted to say publicly instead of privately, because privately would be more uncomfortable. But publicly, I want to just say that I'm sorry that I crossed that line. And I know that you were kind of joking a little bit about, hey, you crossed the line. But also, you're the type of person that's you're very permissive. It's really hard for you to draw boundaries with people.
Sure. Oh, well.
And I don't want to be that type of friend.
Oh, I see the line.
Yeah.
I see what we're talking about.
So
see it.
I just want to
I missed
say
that.
I'm really sorry that I said it. And autocorrect, I was lying that autocorrect made me say that.
Yeah, I know.
You knew.
I knew.
Nick immediately texted me privately and was like, I call BS on autocorrect. And I was like, I thought it was clear that I was joking. That was clear that I was joking. He's like, nope, you're BS. So I just want to say, I'm sorry, Allie, and it
then-
won't happen again.
Edmund,
This particular
let's
type
share one of these
Okay.
to solidify you're forgiven.
So I'm
That
going to
was a
read
nice
the
moment.
text.
That was
No.
nice.
I'm going to read the text out
read it.
loud.
No, let's read it.
What?
I'm going to read it.
No.
You don't think I should?
No.
You don't think-
Absolutely not.
Would that be
Read
crossing
it in
another line?
German. Read it
Yeah.
in German.
That'd be crossing another line?
I do not think that you should read it. See? Austin agrees.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, you should not read it.
Okay.
Oh, God
Well,
wants to know. No.
Okay.
Let's just say,
C'est la
now
vie.
we know where the line is.
Okay. How have you guys been? It's been so long since we've recorded podcast. How have you guys been since we last recorded a podcast?
Man,
Still breathing.
been ages.
Allie and I are Instagram influencers now.
Did you know that? We are health Instagram influencers.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're health Instagram. We are
Yeah.
motivating people to say no to certain things and to get their butts in the gym.
Yeah.
We are doing
LA
that.
Fitness has started paying us royalties, actually.
We're
it's-
micro
it's-
influencers.
Okay, so
Yeah.
explain this.
So like we're trying to show people that you don't need to choose things like milkshakes
or like chocolate covered candies. And
say no.
You can say no, and you go to the gym instead, and you feel better about that.
Right now, I'm doing crunches.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Is that a crunch?
Ew, you're doing them right now? Don't do them now.
No, just like
It's been a long time.
the side, like the things.
Yeah. That's new.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's going really well.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just in the business of changing lives. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I have recently been in the business of our parish has been releasing podcasts.
That's actually really good.
Our parish has been releasing video podcasts in the studio, and that's been really nice. We've been
They're so good. I've
They're
watched
really
a couple
good.
of them.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
Content's
them.
mediocre, but the quality is.
So we've been doing it in this
superb.
room with that setup, and our team has been doing like on Mondays. Or not every Monday, but we'll set aside a Monday and record like 3 in a row. So you have 3 weeks of podcasts, and then we've done that twice. So we had 6 like really quickly. So it's been really cool. And we talked a little bit about this, like when all this COVID stuff hit, parishes immediately were like, Johnny, you've been doing live streams for a long time. How do we do live streams? And how many, like, was it 50 people that contacted you? 100 people that what was the
honest
volume
about
of
the number.
requests for help about live streams?
I mean, at least 1 or 2 a day for multiple
while.
months. Yeah, but the amount I would say that there was probably. I mean, everybody that called. I'm sure you probably had the same thing. Like, they either wanted to know, like, A, like, we don't have any money. How do we improve what we have?
Yeah.
Or B, what do we buy? And we'll buy it right now.
Wow.
And I would say that, like, I should have set up affiliate links or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Totally
Because
should.
I had 10 parishes at least.
Holy cow.
That spent like over $1,000 each on equipment. Oh, I know of one parish that at least dropped $7 or $8 grand.
That would have been at least a $20 Amazon gift card.
At least $20 to Amazon, yeah, which is like, a
really
small thing of
good.
diapers for us. But
Or
so-
one package of gluten-free crackers.
yeah, well, I don't believe in feeding gluten-free people, but so yeah, it was interesting. Is that really that funny? I thought it was like a 3.
I'm nowhere 3 out of 5 or 10. I'm nowhere near as much of an influencer as you are, but we've released 2 weeks of the podcast already, the Parish podcast, and already like I'm getting emails and text messages and stuff of people like, "Hey, how are you doing this?" So it's been interesting, and I want to talk about that a little bit because I was talking with shout out to Nick Frank, who's at an amazing parish.
Nick Frank.
Somewhere in the Midwest. I think anything west of like New York and anything north of Mississippi, I just call like Midwest area. Like it just all is Kansas City to me for some reason. I don't know geography well enough.
Sounds right.
It's all Kansas
It's all
City.
like it's just all so. But I want to talk a little bit about that because we've kind of talked about it privately, but I think it's worth saying out loud. Just kind of the approach to creating content as parishes,
Right.
and like best advice, kind of like Nick Frank asked me. He said, if you were starting all over again, like what advice would you give yourself if you were starting all over again as a parish minister trying to create content like online and create, and buying equipment and looking into that kind of stuff? Like, what would you say? What would you say, Johnny?
I think my first piece of advice would be something that I would 1 year ago, Johnny would disagree with this. And that's like, if you have a desire to create content and you truly believe it's not like virtue signaling or anything that's like pointing back to you or your staff, and it's like pointing towards the Lord and his church, then just start. Like, don't, I was always super guilty, and in a lot of ways I still am, of wanting to have the 5-10 year plan and see okay, how amazing and professional can we make this right now?
Yeah.
Where in reality, some of my favorite podcasts are voice memos with AirPods.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I would say if you have a desire to create content, I know something that my team really thrives on is, and I know you guys share this too, is being able to provide any content we make for free for other parishes to use. One of the things that made me like really pumped about all the work we did. A couple years ago, we built this cool live streaming setup for our youth ministry, and it was
And invested some money into it.
yeah. I mean, it like I said, I didn't listen to that advice. You can live stream from your cell phone, but we put some money into it, and the whole purpose was to invite the parents into the same experience.
Yeah.
Without infringing on like the social laws of teenagers, also like space
social
requirements.
laws.
But it was awesome, and we saw like a lot of fruit from it. But the coolest thing that happened that year was like at the end, after the last night that we had, a parish, I can't remember where, I got an email from this parish, and I guess a mom who's like the volunteer youth minister, and she was like, we don't have anything, so we gather like 10 kids each week and we just watch y'all's live stream.
Wow.
And she was like, and we've been doing it for like 6 months.
That's
and,
amazing.
and I was super
That's your ministry.
well, I was super humbled by that. No, it was the Lord's ministry,
I mean,
Allie.
no,
the
no.
Lord.
That's the ministry of like serving underserved parishes.
That's what he does when he doesn't want you to talk anymore.
Yeah, wow,
No,
was
that's
very
better.
fair.
So,
oh, thank you.
So that was cool, but I guess to circle back to your original question, that would be my piece of advice: is don't wait for that 3 to 5 year goal, and don't wait for that investment. Like if you have content you believe in, like start today, because you're gonna look back. You and I talked about this yesterday. You're gonna look back in a year and be like, man, I could have done a lot by now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we spent 6 months like
Yeah.
saving up for equipment, learning how to use it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have just set my phone on a tripod and started.
Yeah, I mean, I've always told people like people would pay a lot of money probably to watch if Mother Teresa had a really crappy early first generation iPhone.
Oh my God.
Where she was recording video of
I give
herself.
all my money.
Every single day for 2 minutes was just like, here's what I'm thinking about today. So the quality wouldn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like the quality does matter, but it doesn't matter if it's between quality and not doing it. So like just do it. And then in a recent podcast, Allie and I were talking about, I think it was you that said, it's crazy how quickly once COVID hit, all these parishes went to like,
Yeah.
they were all of a sudden caught up to all of these Protestant churches. But as far as tech,
Yeah.
like a lot of parishes were all of a sudden live streaming. But we were talking about, and I want to talk about this with both of you again. We were talking about how they were caught up tech wise, like they were making content.
Right.
But then it becomes a question of what kind of content are you making? Like, what are you making? And if you're just doing what seems like Merriam-Webster's word of the day, where you turn on your phone and you just go, hi, today, incarnation. It's a word that means, and it's like, and that's it.
Flip.
Yeah, it's like
Catechism, paragraph 1647.
and granted, like parishes and priests and ministers like should be teaching, but man, like if you're trying to compete in terms of like making like a really engaging, like catechetical content, you're never gonna compete with what I always say, like. We have drone footage of Father Dave Pavanka walking through a desert in the Wild Goose series on Formed. You're not going to compete with that.
Right.
Like you're not going to compete with Scott Hahn's video resource or Jeff Caven's journey through the Bible.
Yeah.
But what you can as a parish compete with is the local nature of your parish. Like you can talk about your city. You can talk about
Right.
your parishioners. You can
Right.
talk about like what it's like to live in Dallas. Like you can shout out parishioners and talk about your experience.
Yeah.
And that resonates, and that's something Ascension Press can't compete with. Like you could be, I mean, and maybe priests or parish ministers are really intelligent and know a lot about the faith, but if that's all you're doing is another of 1,000 people explaining the Trinity,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
you got to throw more in there. And I think that's where the
Yeah.
importance of witness, like your
Yeah.
own personal witness, is important. And like no saint's the same, and we need to really lean into that right now.
Yeah.
And not just be like, okay, well, we're going to get all the cameras, and then what do? Let's explain why the church is against abortion. It's like, okay, maybe, but like who?
Yeah.
Like you could get that from anywhere. Like what? Like who would tune in to listen to that?
I know our parish, they've been doing live streaming to masses, and that's the question that they're having right now is like, what's the vision for this? Because Father's ready to drop all this money, and but the vision has to be there of like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
And like, why do they want to watch our mass versus when they can watch the Pope?
Yeah,
like,
they can
why
go to
can't
the
they go
Vatican.
Vatican?
Yeah.
So
They can
what
go
is
to-
it about? Like, we need some kind of vision of where is this
Yeah.
leading, not just to have your
But
priest or whoever just
Think
talking
about it
there.
like from an outside perspective as think about being a pastor who in no way was prepared for any of this and like had
Yeah.
to step outside their comfort zone. And the sad thing is the reason they're doing that, the reason that we have parishes calling us multiple times a day saying like, yeah, we'll drop 10 grand, we'll drop 20 grand. Like, you know, the reason is because they're losing their people.
Yeah.
Because now more than ever, it's easier to church hop. It's
Yeah.
easier to, I can watch Father Mike Schmitz in his house saying mass on Sundays.
Yeah.
And so like, here's kind of the point of that. Like I talked to one friend who was telling me about his parish and he was like, yeah, the live stream is pretty mediocre. And I was like, well, I mean, like connect me with someone. I'd be happy to like give him some pointers. And he's like, I don't see the point of having a high quality live stream of a disengaging mass.
Oof.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Whoa. That was good.
yeah, I mean, that's the
Dang.
thing though. Like if
Right.
you're not producing something that like you can't enjoy with an iPhone,
Yeah.
it's you're talking about a 1% difference from
Yeah.
a really good looking stream
Yeah.
to something that just is great content.
And there's been people in the past, like before someone like Casey Neistat was vlogging every single day.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who's going to watch this stuff? But what was really captivating about that was it was just his experience. Like, I'm going to turn on the camera and here's my experience today. And he was really good at crafting a story arc and stuff. But I think, I mean, thinking creatively about the mass, and that's an opportunity that someone's tuning in live. So could you after mass do like 5 minutes with Father, or could you before the mass like have a parishioner get up and talk about the city and talk about the parish, talk about the community, talk about people that are doing awesome things in your parish,
yeah.
and not to like not to take the mass hostage to something like that, but really like if the homily is not the place where that's happening, there has to be some type of connection, because otherwise, yeah, like we'll just watch a live stream of a mass like in DC or the Vatican or somewhere else,
Right.
Franciscan University. Like it was really cool to be like, wow, it feels like we're back in college, like to go to mass there and share that with our kids. Yeah, so if you're just doing the mass, like, and it feels weird to say, I feel a little bad saying it, but I think it's a really key key point. The other advice I gave as I was talking about this is like, well, one thing that I was talking about with Chris Wesley of Marathon Youth Ministry, he was saying, man, like it just sucks like seeing so many ministers in the church who, you know, they acknowledge that we switched to an online format, and so they're just looking for like a silver bullet. So like, you know, just give me a like live stream
package.
Yeah, give me a game to play.
kind of thing,
Give me an online program to use, you
Yeah.
know? And we were talking about how, you know, especially with youth ministers, but any minister, you know, you're really, if you're just seen by your parish as a button pusher, if you're just seen as a person who facilitates like a formed small group, like anyone could do that. And I think it's really pushing us, you know, in the Catholic Youth Ministry podcast we do, Nick and I talk a lot about how if you're called to youth ministry, you have to ask yourself, are you called to be a youth minister or a director of youth ministry? And a youth minister is someone who ministers to youth. That could be a mom. That could be a Catholic school teacher.
That's really good.
It could be a small group leader.
Allie.
It could be Allie.
I'm a youth minister.
But
I'm
if-
not a director.
If you're
For like
called,
a week.
but if you're called to be a director of youth ministry, you're called to be more of a consultant. And so if a parish sees you as a consultant, then you're really valuable. And a consultant is someone who facilitates innovation among a group of people. A consultant is someone who like draws out the best cultural response for our given geographic location.
Yeah.
And can kind of contextualize all the different resources and say, no, this is the resource we need to use. Or what is it, Father, that your vision is, and how do we call forth other people into that vision? So we were talking a lot about ministers, youth ministers. I really think also, just because I'm on a rant, I really think before all this COVID stuff, I really felt like we went through a phase where a lot of pastors were seeing, just from a financial perspective, that one of the best hires could be a youth minister because it's a shot of energy. Parents can get behind youth ministry. You can innovate a lot quicker in youth ministry. So I've heard pastors say, like, if you want to bring more tithing into your parish and revitalize your parish, hire a really dynamic young youth minister. I felt like as more and more parishes were getting like, you know, we're really seeing kind of maximal, I think, life teen infiltration of a lot of parishes across the nation. It feels like the next two phases are going to be taking that model into adult ministry which we don't see as much of. We don't see as much of like that type of dynamic position in adult ministry.
Yeah.
The other thing is a full-time communications coordinator.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like think about the parish, like
Seriously.
because at a lot of parishes, it's a youth minister who's doing some graphic design, but then we have a few parishes.
or it's like the secretary. Like
Yeah.
it's someone at the front we'll add this on.
Right,
like what's the
do all
parish?
this
David
stuff.
Calavita in Solano,
California.
Saint-
in California,
Yeah.
Saint Solano or
Is it
something like
Saint
that.
Solano?
I
I
forget
think
what it's
so,
The
called.
one that Francis Cabildo is at.
That if I hire youth minister, then people will come and not recognizing like what a ministry this is. And people, especially right now during times when money is just crazy and parishes are really hurting for that. So they're like, why would I even think of that? But that's
The other advice I gave was, and I think I'm the same with you, Johnny, that I don't know that I would have agreed with this back in the day because yeah, like I think I just needed to put in the time to learn how to do all of this stuff. But I said the same thing, kind of along the same lines of what you said, which is like, just set a time. If it's once a month, if it's half a day once a month, if it's half a day twice a month, just set a time to make content. Just set a time to either make videos or make a podcast or whatever it is. Just set aside the time. And that serves two purposes. One, it stops some of your staff members from spending 2 days straight doing it. But also there's going to come a time. So sometimes you're going to want to spend way too much time on it. But then sometimes there's going to be a week where you're going to go like, I don't have anything. And that really pushes you to go past just, here's a random fact from Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
It pushes you to go past that and just go, we just have to show up. We just have to show up and do it. And we're going to look back and see that we did episodes. And we built it up. And so that was the other advice I really gave.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I would add to that is I feel like everybody is so anxious to like just get somebody in front of the camera. Just get somebody in front of the camera. And like I mean, I think my retention rate, if I watch a video and I like can immediately tell like that person does not want to be there. I mean, I'm like I'm going to the next video. So before you, I mean, I would say I agree with you. Like start making content, but like don't be afraid to have those tough conversations and say like, hey, maybe the secretary who doesn't like to be on camera is not the best person
Maybe we should pick her.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, like we're definitely guilty of that. Like we did a video last week where we had 2 volunteers and they did great, but they both walked in. They're like, I don't want to do this. And I was like,
great,
let's
bring that
not
energy.
do it. Like, let's have somebody else who likes being on camera. There are
Yeah.
people who enjoy that. And so,
Yeah.
so I would say like, if you have someone who's like, I don't want to do this, you know, I mean, you can discern if it's like a lovingly, no, like, let's just try it. But also, like, there's plenty of mediocre content out there.
Yeah.
And we
There's
don't
plenty
need,
of mediocre
we don't need
content
more.
out there.
But
good.
you know, as like a counterpoint though, like there's mediocre.
Don't you dare define me.
I would be way more okay with mediocre content that is contextual to your local area.
Totally.
Like if you're gonna do a shout out to your city and take questions from parishioners, and I would much rather you be mediocre and hyper local.
Yeah.
Than be like the best theologian in your diocese, and that's all you do.
Yeah.
Because like there's enough of that. Like
Yeah.
how are you gonna compete with some of these huge companies that are putting out? How are you gonna compete with Thomas Aquinas and someone just reading the book?
I can't
You know,
compete with
like,
Thomas
yeah.
Aquinas.
So yeah, but I do
I'm not
agree.
kidding.
But I do agree though. Like you do need to have some of those hard conversations and just say like one thing I find a lot with people that first start is they're so they're thinking in terms of writing instead of in terms of talking.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So they
that's-
want to make
yeah.
sure, like, this is my 5 minutes on TV, and I need to make sure every word I say is perfect.
Yeah.
And also, I highly encourage people to do things just live with as little editing as possible.
Yeah.
Because it shifts your brain.
Uh-huh.
Because when you're talking to someone, you're not going, what's up?
Talk in your mic more.
Hey. Oh, am I talking too far off?
Yeah.
Okay. Mic technique, guys.
Gosh,
Mic
man.
tech.
When here we are talking about how to film yourself.
Gosh, mediocre content.
But I do think when you're trying to, when you sit in front of a camera and you're thinking in your head someone's gonna make a bunch of edits.
Yeah, right.
You're editing yourself and you're stopping and you're doing it again and
Like,
you're
I'll
stopping.
do that again. I could do it
But
better.
when
Yeah.
you're standing, but just ask yourself, if you're that type of person where you're like, oh, I'm not really good on camera, ask yourself, when you talk to a friend, do you have to go, wait, let me say that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let me start. You don't, because you're just in the moment. And if you mess
Right.
up, you just go, wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
just keep going. And so I really encourage people, just hit record and just go. And you'll
Yeah.
save so much time. You'll be so much more natural and people will love it. You know?
And it's more genuine, where I think if you do have this script, then you feel like you have to stick to that, and it just feels like you're acting. And I
Right.
hate that. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I hate that.
We did a video
Real.
yesterday just to send like some of our mission outreach people on their council. They went and took like cards and stuff like that to like nursing home residents and stuff like that. And they asked me to like make a video so they could send it to the residents who couldn't come out to get it, and just say like, you know, it was sweet. So I went, and the person who coordinated it has done videos before, and she gets super nervous, and like I'm holding up a script for her right above the camera, and like you can see her just reading. Yesterday, I turned on my camera, hit record, walked up to her, and I was like, hey, tell me about what we're doing here. And she was like, hey, we're here at this nursing home, and we're just giving these cards just to say we love you and that the Lord loves you, and we're thinking. And I was like,
that was
where
amazing.
the heck did that come
was
from?
Read
amazing,
the
yeah.
cards, Vicky. Yeah.
how did you know her name? Oh
Amazing.
my gosh.
That's the thing, is you just have to think of there's just one other person behind the camera and
Yeah.
just talk to that person.
Exactly.
That's also that's helped. Another tip for people, since we're just dealing out tips, is that can be really helpful too, is just hit record and let the camera
Just dealing out tips.
tips on tips on tips. Another tip is just hit record and have someone just stand behind the camera and just keep trying to get them just not to look at the camera and just to look at you and
Interview
just go
style, yeah.
and just go, why is this important? And then like interrupt them. We did this on a project recently where I kept interrupting them when they started getting more like curated and I could tell that they're talking to the camera. I would like interrupt with a different question.
Yeah.
Well, why is this important? Why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Well, was that easy? Was that hard? And just kept going into it. And, and man, all of a sudden they're the most natural person on camera ever because they're just talking to a person.
Yeah.
A tip that I learned was that has been super helpful, and I always tell, like, if I'm filming someone for the first time, it's one of the first things I tell them.
Imagine you with no pants.
That's it.
That's the second thing. If this first thing doesn't work,
I have a follow up to that. We'll hit stop and then I'll.
Imagine you're not wearing pants.
All right.
I'm not wearing pants.
Action.
And then,
Before you talk, imagine yourself not wearing pants.
No,
Okay, go.
pantless.
Now go.
Right. No, the tip I always say is like, if I can pause this video at any point and your face doesn't look ridiculous, you're not being expressive enough. Which is true.
That's a really great. That's really great advice.
Because if you pause it and it's just like it looks like the thumbnail, then I'm like, all right, you're not moving enough. Like I don't see enough expression, and so I will literally show them, like they'll do the first take and they'll be like, welcome back to another exciting episode of Parish Talk
You
with
just
Karen.
slap them in the face.
And I'll be like, all right, let's watch that real quick, and they'll come over
Review.
and I'll pause it a couple times, and they'll be like, that looks the same. That looks the same. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna try that again, and I'm gonna pause it every few seconds. And if you don't look hilarious, like if we're not laughing at your stupid face, it's not enough expression.
We're not trying hard enough.
make me laugh at your stupid.
Yeah.
And then the third option is like, okay, we're gonna do it again, but this time I'm gonna tickle you the entire time you're doing your script.
Yeah.
All right, so this is my
Ready?
friend Edmund.
Go.
He's gonna
He's gonna be under the table.
he's gonna be standing out of frame, just barely,
Just really touching your lower
barely.
ribs, just kind of tickle, tickle, tickle.
just like, or you show up with like a 10-foot like feather.
That's how the best.
Slowly comes on the screen.
That's how the best videos are made.
With feathers, yeah, I've seen that. That's how Allie and I have been making our Instagram influencer. Just
Yeah.
a full circle right back
Just
to that.
so our influencing game. So no.
We were really hoping that you would talk more
About
about
what?
that.
Yeah,
About,
and you-
it's
About
okay.
your
just
influence?
really
No,
trying
it's
to break
past,
into
it's
this
past,
game.
it's
Yeah.
over.
You
Fine.
guys are on a really
Whatever.
cute Instagram
Yeah.
stories back and forth. You got all this inside joke going, and it's been great. It's been wonderful.
It's almost over, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna carry it until it's for sure.
It's gonna be like a year from now where you're like, Allie, seriously, we get it. It was a good bit. It was really good.
This will never.
Did you
go
know
away.
what? Like, a couple people have said, like, are you ripping off that one video? Have you seen this video? Okay, because I definitely am ripping it off.
Well, this is
Oh,
like a
what
joke. Like
video?
I've seen something similar on TikTok where it's like,
The cookie one? Is that what you're talking about?
I can't even say it on air, but I've
Can
seen.
I say it?
I don't know.
What videos are you watching?
I've seen something kind of similar to what you did, which is like, you just got to resist this thing, and then it shows with your hand that you actually did
Oh,
the thing.
I didn't. I thought you were. A
I
genius.
think
Anyways.
I think it is the same one. Is it the woman in the grocery store?
I don't know.
parking lot?
It's
What
been
is
a
she
lot of
doing?
different TikTokers have.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it,
TikTok
and
too.
if Kyle has to bleep it, is it? So
I don't know. I don't
definitely
know what
have
you're
to
talking
bleep
about.
out.
So basically, it's it was this lady in a grocery store parking lot. Have you seen this? There's a lady in the grocery store parking lot, and she's like filming the Kroger. And the reason I watched it is because it literally looked like our neighborhood Kroger. And she's like, guys, like, I have to tell you, like, something crazy just happened. Like, I was walking out of the Kroger, and there was this guy. Is it the same one?
I don't know.
Oh.
This guy was there, and he was like, "Hey, lady, come here." And she walked up to him and was like, "Hey, if you show me part of yourself, I'll give you a cookie."
Elbows.
And she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're disgusting." She walked out and called the cops. She was like, "Yeah, he ran like right over there," and she's got the cookie
She's
in her
holding
hand.
it.
Oh,
cookie?
I've
Yeah.
seen similar.
Yeah.
Similar
They're
jokes.
everywhere on TikTok.
There's similar jokes.
Like with a
yeah.
bottle of
Same
wine
with beer.
or
Same thing. Yeah,
okay.
right. And yeah.
Oh, I did not equate that with that.
Well,
so you're rich.
Julie was like, "Are you stealing from that lady?" I was like, "Yes, that's Instagram.
Oh, I
that's
just
how that
stealing
Stealing their
works."
structure.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And
we're promoting healthy lifestyle here. We're
Well, and
really
you're-
out to make
Yeah.
a change.
Well, and
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
evangelizing
Yeah.
that structure.
Yeah.
You're basically taking it and putting a thin Christian veneer over it.
Thin,
Yeah.
very thin.
You're
Yeah.
making it hyper local, which is what we were just
It's
saying.
hyper.
We're
it's,
hyper.
it's definitely
and it's
hyper.
local.
Yeah.
Everything
is
I want.
Definitely.
Guys, I definitely think I've overcome Corona. I think I think. What do you think the
I love
chances are?
just the silence after you say that.
What do you guys think?
Like, where you going?
What do you guys think the chances are that you got corona and owned it? Because I'm pretty sure. Like
I don't think I got it ever.
I think if I do get it, I think corona's gonna be.
Scared of you?
No, I think
Yeah,
corona's
that's
gonna
nice.
regret entering my body.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I think when corona forcibly enters my body, I think it's gonna regret it and it's not gonna be able to get out.
Like, whoa, how do I?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I think my body is going to shut off all the entryways. They're just gonna, all the entryways are gonna, like all my entryways to my body that
How do you-
corona.
okay,
I don't know I don't know how corona gets into your body, but all of those
I think it's
entryways,
a lot through like.
any of those gates, like all of those gates of Jerusalem, all 17 of them, they're gonna lock down. Like they will be open and they will welcome the COVID in.
Like a Trojan horse, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
opposite.
Yes.
Yes.
So we will welcome the Trojan horse of COVID in.
But it's like opposite, yeah. Because then, yeah.
And all of my holes will just and it will lock down, like the heavy iron gates will just slam down and COVID will be like, shit.
I gotta get out. And I can't.
And my body will, over the course of probably 3.5 weeks, will slowly just devour, annihilate, tear apart, just
You are the
scorched-
antibody.
Just scorched earth.
How are you planning on breathing if all of your holes are shut?
No, I mean it's just to lock them out.
Yeah, but
It's just
like,
to lock them out.
two places you breathe are the
Well,
main
no,
place
I mean
that-
it's a smart passageway. I mean, like it will let air in and out, but COVID it will
It's
not.
like when flies.
It's
when
like
you have,
immigration.
When you have
Oh.
okay.
no, I mean
When
there's
you have-
certain people that can come in and out. Like if you have a card, we'll let you in and out. But if you don't, we're
You
just
know
not
what?
going.
You know when you have fly traps and they
Wait,
they
can we
go
stop for a
in?
second? You know when you have fly traps?
Yeah, fly trap. Have you ever made a fly
I know
trap?
when I have fly
with,
trap.
with apple
I'm
cider
like, I just
vinegar?
bought this fly trap, now I own it.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry,
Okay.
for some reason I was thinking of Venus flytraps. Like I was
Oh,
imagining
no.
plants. Like you know when you have the Venus flytrap?
No, I would have said
I don't
Venus
often
flytrap.
have
no.
a Venus flytrap.
No, just a regular fly trap.
Okay.
Where have you ever used apple cider vinegar?
We
Actually,
are currently.
Yes, I have done this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a
And so
ton
the
of
flies
flies.
can get in, but then they can't get out because
Yeah.
they don't know how to get out. Same with
Yeah.
the corona.
Yep. It's like the Hotel California.
That,
You can check in, but
Yeah,
you will never
that's
leave.
a song.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
One time we bought a fly trap that I put in my backyard, and then I forgot about it for a while. Actually, I forgot about it for 3 months.
Ooh.
Wow, both of your heads snapped.
They're
to
like
attention.
hundreds of flies.
Well-
hundreds
So
of
here's
flies
what
now.
happened. I forgot about the fly trap. It was in our backyard for a really long time, and then we started getting flies in our house, like lots of flies in our house,
Ew.
like to the point. And this is how great my relationship with my wife is. I said, "There's a lot of flies in my house," and my wife said, "Yep." And then the next day, I was like, "There's like way more flies in our house. Like I keep killing lots of flies," and she's like, "It's a thing. Flies in our house. It's gonna be a thing." Okay. It got to the point where whenever there was sun like coming through a window onto the floor, there'd be 10 to 15 flies.
Yeah.
Ew.
Right.
And so I was like, what is going on? I'm killing flies. I mean, it's like the killing
Oh.
fields. I mean, I went to
Just murdering.
I went to war on
Yeah.
these flies.
It's like Jericho in your house.
Yeah, so I was just mowing them down. I mean, I had like a rail gun. I was just like
A rail gun?
mowing down flies.
All right.
And I was like, there's something's going on. Like this is not normal. Either
A demon.
my wife has been reading satanic books,
That is
Something's
probably
happening.
yeah.
or she's been doing yoga.
yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Same thing.
Or
So-
Harry Potter.
Yeah, or she's read Harry Potter. So I was
Yep.
like, something's going on. Then I remembered the fly trap thing, and it was about this big of a fly trap. It was like you bought at Home Depot. It was like this big of a fly trap, and it had like the entryway, and then like the hotel area, and then the basement filled with water.
Oh,
And
get 'em.
okay, so when I remembered it, I went out to find it,
Yeah.
and about this much of water was completely filled with corpses of flies.
Yeah.
I mean,
serious?
yeah, it looked like Dante's Inferno, like one of the
That would be
levels
a
of
level.
hell.
That would
One
be
of
a
the levels of
level.
hell where, like, I mean, there was one fly with a scythe and like a robe on in a little
And then you
boat,
knew.
and he was traveling across the water, but then all of the water was just dead fly corpses.
His just brothers.
There were corpses, or there were flies making baby flies. So there was like larvae that was coming
No.
out. Yeah. So then
Did
there
it
were
die?
no. So well, a lot of them were dying. A lot of them were being born, It was crazy, man.
What do you do? Did you just
I would
move?
burn it. I know.
So then what was
called Austin,
happening,
you're like, "Hey, man."
what was happening was this
house.
cesspool of sin and destruction
Yeah.
was also
Sodom
there
and
were
Gomorrah.
like the death could not contain. Like flies were just, it was a fly factory.
Death
it was
could not
just,
hold them.
They were just pouring out
not in, like, the good
because they
way.
were just being pushed out.
Veil toward before them.
So even though it was outside, somehow they were
quite
all getting into our house.
Oh gosh.
So all of our windowsills were just full of 5 to 10 flies.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It was crazy.
That's
Yeah.
What'd you do it? Like, how do you?
So I took the fly trap. I think I put it in a garbage bag,
Threw it
and I
all
think
away?
I tied it off. I put it in a garbage. I put
Neighbor's lawn.
Yes. No, I
And
put
we
it
know
in.
which neighbor.
I put it in. It was heavy too. Flies. If you have like 1 million dead flies, they're really heavy. So I put it in, and the liquid, that attracts them, was red. So it was red, like.
Oh my! You
Oh,
should have.
yeah.
Oh, you. Oh.
It was like the worst Kool-Aid commercial
That's
ever.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Does
It
this
was
look
like-
good to you?
Kool-Aid from hell.
Oh no! And so I like tied it off in a garbage bag. I think I put it in a garbage can. I might have filled it with bleach and lit it on fire or something.
Yeah, probably.
And just like that was disgusting.
That is.
That was only the second most disgusting thing that happened in that house.
Notice how no one is asking. Like none of us are like, tell us the first.
Baby being born.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Catching Foxes.
Where you can say whatever you want.
Catching Foxes is a podcast where 2 white guys with beards talk about soccer.
Sucker.
Both great dudes.
No, the other
Stay
thing that
that.
happened was Danielle was out of town for a few days.
Oh, he's
and,
just going on
and
his own.
I was not at the house enough. I was not at the house a lot because I was going into work. And so for, 4 or 5 days, I had thrown some garbage. I had thrown some like steak or meat in the trash. And it was around the time of the fly situation.
Oh no.
So, okay, so imagine this. I'm at the home alone.
Oh my gosh.
The garbage can is sitting in the middle of the kitchen, like in the kitchen area. And it's all laminate floors.
Yeah.
And I hear the sound,
No.
just
Of silence.
no. Well, at first I heard the sound of silence.
Silent.
But this was like 4th or 5th day. I just come home, go to bed, like, whatever. Like I wasn't even going to the kitchen. I was eating at I was surviving on Chick-fil-A and Chipotle at this point.
The Lord's food.
Yeah.
So one night, or no. One morning I wake up in the morning.
I'm so invested to this.
So I wake up and I'm hearing just like,
What are you hearing? Like, what possible?
I'm not
voices could
even
you be
convinced that
hearing?
this is a real story.
no, it's
yet.
very real. My wife will, okay. I'm hearing footsteps,
Okay.
but very, very, very tiny footsteps. Like if something is very, very, very tiny, making little footsteps.
like a fly, maybe.
I'm also hearing tick, 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 that kind of stuff. Like,
badger?
so I'm hearing like little chick, 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 and then, but I'm also hearing like drops, kind of like this, but not that loud. Okay, so it's like little drops. So I'm like, what's going on? So the back of the house is where the little kitchen is. So I turn the corner and look down the aisle of like the kitchen, and we had like a little trash can bin, and it was filled with, and the whole kitchen floor filled with 1 million maggots.
Ooh.
And so the trash can had so overflowed and filled with maggots that they were falling out of the trash can and landing
my
That is not
gosh.
real. Are
and
you
just
serious?
like inching and inching. And so they had spread. They just spread every, and I had no clue. I was just like, oh, there's just a little bit of trash in there.
You just start
and then after
crying.
4 or 5 days, like I just didn't think anything of it. And because it was around the time of the fly thing, there was a lot of flies laying like maggots and stuff in there. So it spread like
I've been in that house.
millions, like
Walked on that floor.
so many. The worst part about it was cleaning up. I didn't even know, like, what do I do?
What do you
So
do?
the first stupid reaction was like, I went and found whatever
Bleach.
poison I had.
Yeah.
Like
Douse 'em.
roach,
Yep, roach.
like roach poison.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Light it on fire.
And so I just like start spraying. And then I realize this is now like a field of poison and dead maggots. Like we're still in like the killing field situation. So literally it's just,
Did it kill them?
I mean, kind of. I mean, they're still kind of moving, but it's just like, it's just this huge puddle of
Oh my gosh.
roach poison and little tiny maggots.
Maggots.
And there's still maggots coming out of the trash can.
Oh.
So I'm like, how do I walk to get to the trash can? Like, what do I? So
Call
then
Danielle to come home.
I'm like getting a mop and trying to scoop them up.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
Oh, I'm feeling itchy now.
it was awful. It probably took me close to 10 hours to take care of the whole thing.
No.
Oh yeah, just to be mopping them together. They're finding them and stuff, like putting them like.
Well, especially
like,
for everyone, they're tiny and they can get into
maggots are
crevices.
tiny. Yeah, it was.
I would have called Austin and be like, hey, man, we got a sale for you. It's an as is.
As is, and no one can come
Listed
inside.
100
Yeah.
under asking,
Yeah.
under market, and
It
we're out.
was. And I
They
was
can
like,
keep the furniture. I
I'll
don't even
send you
care.
pictures. I'm going to need you to edit some stuff.
and I literally
Just in
like
one room.
I came around the corner and I was like,
disgusting.
this proves it. I am a garbage person.
You are.
Like that's exactly what I
No,
thought.
you're not a garbage person. You just live in a garbage.
Allie. Lying is a sin.
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay.
I thought I don't want this to be my like what I really thought was like I don't want this to be my superhero mascot. I don't want to be called Maggot Man for the rest of my life.
I don't want this for my life.
I was afraid, and like it was like I just was in a weird emotional space. I'm like they're gonna devour me, and
Yeah,
like Danielle's
how
just
do
gonna find me because I don't know anything about maggots.
So
I
when
didn't
you
know.
went to sleep that night, did you like have dreams or something that they would like crawl on
Oh,
you or
yeah,
anything?
yeah.
Oh,
Did you call Danielle
Aftermath.
immediately?
Oh yeah, immediately I was like, I did a very bad thing, and she was like, "Is it the thing you said you'd never do?" And I was like, "No, it's not that.
It's not that. I will
It's-
publicly confess.
It seems worse than that." And she was like, "Dear Lord, what is it?" And I was like, and I like showed her pictures and stuff. She was like, "Well, good luck with that."
Oh my god.
That sounds
Do you have
exactly
pictures?
like her.
I can't remember. Maybe somewhere.
We're gonna need to see
It was
pictures of
really
this.
awful.
Oh,
that,
maybe
was,
later,
that was one of the lowest
Okay,
moments
I
of my
wanna see.
life.
Yeah, that's hard.
That was
That's
really rough.
Oh,
That was
rough.
really rough.
man.
That's rough.
So
All right. Well, thanks.
Let's
All
go.
everybody.
right, maggot boy.
let's go to current events, Kyle.
This was a good one.
Oh,
What do we got in current events?
so
Okay, so
gross.
Bonaventure's Book Club. Shout out to Patrick.
I saw
How do you
this after
pronounce
you
his last
posted it.
name?
Crap, I'm a really bad friend.
The
Also
Crunch.
Kyle.
It's
Also
a
Kyle.
weird last
it's not
name.
to the top. You guys speaking to the side.
Patrick Crap.
There you go.
That's really unfortunate.
Patrick Nev.
Patrick Nev.
I hope I
and
said it right. I'm
so-
a bad friend.
This is called Bonaventure's Book Club, an annual subscription. This is on Kickstarter of beautifully designed thematic books of classical theology under 40 pages. So I'm not really sure if this is summaries of these class. It says under 40 pages. I don't know if they're just making
Really
the
tiny
font,
font.
really, really tiny.
Yeah, it's actually just the entire
I
catechism.
tried to back. Yeah, surprise. I tried to back this today, but then my Kickstarter like kicked me out. I want to
that's
back
weird.
this because I think this is amazing.
Yeah, you guys need to go look this up. These
is
little
cool.
books, and so basically the idea is like you could fit them in your back pocket. They're these little like notebooks. They're really beautifully designed. Do we want to watch some of the? Let's watch some of the video. I don't know that we want to watch all of it. Oh, it's a minute.
1 minute.
It's 1 minute.
God gave us a mind so we can know him.
That's
So
Pat's
much
voice.
stands in our way. We want to spend more
Pat's
time
voice.
reading and learning about God, but our lives are full of busyness and distraction and noise.
It's true, Pat.
On
We look for
alleys.
escape in our phones, but they just give us more distraction and more noise. Now, phones aren't evil, they're just portable. If the great theologians of the church were as portable as your phone, you would be reading and not scrolling. But now, they are. Bonaventure's Book Club puts the great books of the church
BBC.
in your back pocket. And here's how it works. Bonaventure's Book Club
news
curates
joke.
the theological works that shaped our church. We make them easy to read and easy to fit in your purse or pocket.
Whoever did the animations on this,
You make a
was really
one-time
good.
payment
Yeah,
and
I
receive
agree.
a year's worth of our collection. So next time you're waiting in line, sitting in a coffee shop, or at a bus stop, don't just sit and scroll. Take the time to unplug and open up the treasury of the church.
So there's still little books. It's not like you get it on your
cool.
phone.
And
That's cool.
here's what I'm really excited about is having these little books. If they're, I mean, granted, they're probably going to be
I'm looking at them right now.
they're not going to be cheap, but I'm imagining getting multiple copies, taking them with me, and like marking them up and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like writing in them and circling. And it reminds me of scout books. Scout books are like little custom notebooks that you can make. It seems kind of like a similar size. So, anyways, I thought this was awesome. Can you go to like what's the team? The team, because whoever the graphic designer is, we got to shout out him.
Yeah, I did great.
Might be Matt.
So the
This guy did the
Ben
Catholic
West
card game.
is the designer. If you go to their main page, it'll show who's on the team. But Patrick Nev of Twitter fame. Oh yeah, scroll down.
Community? Oh.
No, keep scrolling. Oh gosh, it looks so good.
Look at those
Oh,
colors.
look at
Yeah,
look at all the
too.
different ones.
Love it.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
there's like series on Grace.
Oh, yeah, look at
series on- and then
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
be
the team.
interested to
Here we go.
see what
Ben
who-
West.
Oh, Ben West. Like, what is in it? Like you said, is it just the actual scripts from them? Is it like
yeah, they just cut it. They
commentary?
cut it down
Is
to 40 pages.
Yeah, that's
So Matt Martinussen, publisher and fulfiller, Ben West, designer and creative, Patrick Nev, curator and podcaster. I also think if you scroll down or something, they're doing like podcast episodes about this. Like there's a Bonaventure Book Club podcast or something that they're doing. So this is great. So what's the link here? Kickstarter.com/ okay. All right.
Martin Newson /
I would just go-
Bonaventure.
Link in our bio.
sorry,
There's a link in our bio.
/
There it
project
is.
/ yeah.
Link in bio.
Early Christian martyrdoms collected works.
Or just
wow.
go to Kickstarter and type Bonaventure's Book Club.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
just
just
type
search.
Sure, you can
Bonaventure.
Google
That's
it.
probably
Bonaventure's
Google
Book Club.
Bonaventure's
yeah.
Book
So this
Club,
is really
yeah.
beautiful. I really want people to support this. I want to support this. So
That's awesome.
And one annual subscription is only $60, and you'll get all of 4
All of
shipments.
them.
You'll get all those
That's
books.
good, yeah.
yeah, I think
For
it's
$60.
I think it's 3 books a quarter or
Yeah,
something.
that's what it looks like.
And also what I'm excited about because they've already raised how much money have they raised? They've already
11%.
raised $4,000 of $35,000. I'm interested. You know, some of these projects like there was a Bible project that raised a ton of money, and because they raised all the money, they were able to do more with the project. They were able to pivot, provide other products and other versions of it and stuff. So I really hope people support this. It hits a lot of.
It is all or nothing. So if it doesn't get funded, it's not going to happen.
Oh shoot! Yeah,
Guys, we need
Oh
to
man, and they
this.
only have like 3 weeks.
29 days.
Today
ago.
was the first day.
Guys, go support this. All right, what else we got?
If you were to start a Kickstarter, what would you kickstart?
Goats.
Cool. Okay.
I
What
could
about you?
kickstart a goat.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
goats
Kickstart
too?
my moped.
You
Or a lawnmower.
All right, what do we got,
like
Kyle?
to buy a new lawn?
Barcelona Opera reopens with an audience
Kick it.
of plants.
Okay.
So
Start it. Yeah.
Barcelona practicing social distancing, and then they filled their
A room full of marijuana.
no. These are
Are you
ficuses
sure?
and ferns. Ficuses and ferns.
Just a ficus and a
2,292 seats with plants for a performance by some quartet. I don't understand what like the. I mean, it's cool.
It
would
looks
be.
visually beautiful.
It'd be just as cool if it was like. I mean, if they just filled each chair with a bag full of M&Ms, it'd be just as. Like, but
That in some ways would be cooler.
I think they need to try that.
Yeah, there's only
Just to
like
see.
4 people playing music. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot
It's
of
a
plants
little
for 4
creepy,
people.
like,
It's 500 per person. How many
Yeah.
plants does one person need? 500 can't be that many.
How did they film this? Like, did they film the concert or like it's just
No,
Live
it's just
stream.
them and the
We
plants.
just did it.
The
Live
plants
stream.
saw it.
oh live stream? They live streamed it.
And all the
Kinda
plants
weird.
go to nurses at the end.
They what? Say
They,
that
they
again?
give at the end of it. They give all 2,000 plants to nurses and healthcare professionals.
What
in
are
the
nurses
community.
going to do with a plant?
Wow,
It's a
Love it.
quartet plant.
This is
It's
not just
probably
any
a great
plant though. This
It's
plant.
been played at
Just that, yeah.
by this the Uchlali Quartet.
Uchilli.
Okay. All right.
Uchilli.
Yeah.
Got a Joe
Next.
Biden ad.
Uh,
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy,
gosh.
is this a legit
Are we doing this?
Biden
Okay.
ad?
I guess we're doing.
Is this legit? Like
Let's watch it.
more?
It looks like it. I remember when this
That's
happened when
Obama.
they were jogging.
Is this
Yes.
an old ad? Or is this a real thing? Like Are they showing how much healthier than Trump?
Oh, come
yeah.
on.
Walking down the stairs. Oh, walking down the ramp.
the
That
one where he
music
runs?
change. Oh my God! Stop. This cannot be a real ad. Oh my God.
I think it is. It's very well edited.
Oh my gosh, guys! I have to vote for Biden.
Look at that.
Same time next week?
Same time next week.
All right.
Oh, come on.
Weird.
That's got an ad in the bottom right. Find the clear truth.
I mean, here's the thing. Physically, Biden can run more, but cognitively, the equivalent would be for Biden rolling down a ramp.
We're filling up this computer with beans.
Like rolling down a ramp would be Biden's like cognitive equivalent.
I would.
So what are we going here?
Slowly.
Like, what are we? Yeah.
How much money would you guys pay to see Trump and Biden fight?
Oh,
Like
a lot.
physically fight?
I would empty my
Johnny?
savings account.
Oh my.
All the money.
Oh, man.
I'd pay all the money.
I'd just be, that's sad.
Do you think the one?
Allie, just
You're
no,
too
be
grown
just
men.
a guy for
Who
a
do you
minute.
bet on?
Okay, hold on.
Is Biden going to know he's in a
Yeah.
fight?
Yeah.
All
Biden
the
won't know
money.
he's in the fight. So Biden, you could punch the.
Biden doesn't know where he is.
Yeah.
He's just like, something is happening right now. I don't really know how to react.
Oh yeah. You could smack the First Amendment out of him, and he wouldn't even
Second
know.
Amendment.
Would not be
Yeah.
hard.
It's the Second
Second Amendment's already gone.
It'd be like,
don't worry about that one.
It'd be like Batman and Joker, you know, in that first when he's like just beating the crap out of him and he's laughing.
Yeah.
Biden's gonna be like, this is fun.
This is fun. This
Yeah.
is. We should do this more.
Yeah. Do you think I heard someone say that maybe we should go to a model where you send a president from each country? Like in the future, world wars will be fought where you send your president to like a ship just kind of floating on the water, and then they just fight to the death, and then whoever wins,
Putin.
You're the winner.
you're just like,
Putin is kicking everyone's
All right, well,
butt, world
you would
leader
really
wise.
pick
You
your
think pretty
presidents.
boy Trudeau's gonna pull up to Vladimir Putin? No chance.
oh yeah, Putin would definitely, yeah.
yeah, he would probably win. He'd probably win.
Man.
All right, what else we got?
We got a new directory of catechesis released.
Oh, okay. So I'm really excited about this. I definitely
Screams
threw this in
Edmonds.
here. There's a directory for catechesis, updated directory of catechesis. So we have the oh man, how did it go? There was the general directory of catechesis, I think. Or no. The
Yeah,
very first one was the
1997.
general catechetical directory, and then the next one was the general directory for catechesis, and then this is kind of an updated. So I'm really excited about this. Specifically, and in the Forming Intentional Disciples forum, they were talking a little bit, I was joking a little bit about everyone having a hard time that evangelization and catechesis are like connected, because the document talks a lot about how this directory on catechesis will highlight the importance of evangelization. Anyways, I'm kind of a
Major
nerd for this
principles
stuff.
of action.
Yeah. So a directory normally gets a little bit more into like method, whereas like an encyclical on catechesis is going to talk a lot more about theory. But a directory like this is interesting because it's going to talk more about
Wow,
method.
that's going to be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in as much as like a Vatican document can talk about method to the entire globe of dioceses, but this will probably be really good. So I already ordered 2 of them, so I just want to tell you guys about this.
Oh, that's really exciting, Evan.
So, all right, what else we got?
Can't wait to hear more about that one. That's really cool.
Oh, this is amazing. Did I show you guys
It's
this?
a 2-minute video.
Johnny, you would love this as a drummer.
Wait,
Gosh.
Let's watch this. I think in this
I
current
think
climate,
we watched it,
We-
but not
we did
on,
I think it's just
not
good
on
for
a
people.
podcast.
I think it's good for good Christians to know about this.
Yes.
The wrong beats. For instance, I want to give our viewers an example of what I'm talking about. If we are listening to a song, and I'm going to use a simple song like Jesus Loves Me, and I'm just going to say, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. The emphasis is on the 1 beat, okay? It's more of a march. Bum, 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 right?
March is
Now
good.
we can also move
March
the
is
accent.
good.
We can duplicate that and put it on the 1 and on the 3. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Jesus loves me, this I know. Kind of like a child would sing it. It's innocent.
Look at
It's
this
on the
guy.
1 and 3.
Look at this
All
guy.
we have to do is shift
Tell me
the
more.
accent to the 2 or to the 2 and the 4 or just the 3. Sounds kind of confusing, but
Can you pause it
it
for a
would be
second,
like
Kyle?
this.
Can you pause it for a second?
Jesus.
Wait for the moment this guy talks for the first time. It is so worth it. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
Loves me, this I know. Oh, for the Bible tells me so. Oh,
He starts getting into
little ones to him belong. Oh, all of a sudden you have what we would call like a rap or a hip hop feel. It's the same word, same type feeling of the same type of melody or whatever. But all we've done is move the accent. The moment we move the accent from the 1 or 3, it becomes a syncopated beat. Syncopation, by all occult experts around the world agree, syncopation is the source of occult power in pagan worship services.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So this is
Can we back up? Can we back up and get the really a minute and a half in? Can we soundbite this? Can we clip?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm running
that
it full
needs to be
screen
on
for
the
soundbite.
soundboard. Yeah,
This is-
yeah.
Also, why is Matt Frad's younger brother so into this? Like,
If you didn't know what this
Christian
video
fundamentalism
was,
is.
you would not think like that was a really hard left
wait, let's
turn.
keep.
Yeah.
But
right.
for some
Didn't see that
reason,
coming.
Did
First
not
time
see
I
that
saw
coming.
it.
we need to pray for Matt Frad's younger brother.
Yeah, what's his
who's
name?
so into
Services.
Christian fundamentalism.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
back up a little bit. Back up.
So-
I want to get his really. Can we back back up a little more? There we go.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. Really.
occult power in pagan worship services.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So good.
This
He's kind of disinterested too. Really?
It's
Wait,
like, all right,
can
man,
we
I
watch the
get
rest
it,
of it?
I
Can we-
get
this
it.
is
He
so
does yoga.
good.
It's clear.
profound to the Christian. Now we're in our homes, we're in our cars listening to Christian music that has all these beats and syncopated things in it, and we're going, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. What it actually does, just like it does to ancient voodoo worshipers and modern day voodoo worshipers in their religious services, is it short circuits the frontal moral lobe. It gets them to a place to where they can become possessed. It's called the place of the crossroads between the physical and the spiritual.
Robert Johnson taught us nothing.
And
It's
now in the
crossroads
church,
is where
we
the
have
devil
this thing
is.
going on, and we call it the moving of the Holy Spirit.
We call it, and we go, I rest my case, Your Honor.
It's the lean back there after just dropping the
We call it
truth.
the movement of the Holy
Just
Spirit.
dropped him.
I don't get why you guys are laughing.
I don't-
I thought that
okay.
was solid teaching.
Okay.
Oh, what does it say?
All right.
Beware of syncopation because it leads to Christians being possessed.
Johnny, as a musician,
Shout
what do you
out to
say to that?
Father
No,
Stephen,
I
who was that?
I
Father
remember
Stephen,
learning that. That's right.
Vrazel?
And where
Father
did you
Stephen
learn
Vrazel,
At
but
Keytar Catholic.
Northwest Seminary Twitter
I
handle.
think it
Just a
was
shout
University
out.
of Dallas.
that? They
Taught me that.
You want
yeah.
an honorary.
That syncopation leads to
UD teaches
possession
that.
of the UD.
Pretty sure that guy's a UD professor.
Well, Dr. Stephen Frad, Dr. Chad Frad,
Chad Frad.
Chaz Frad.
Man.
Chaz Frad.
Yeah.
Hit for events.
Wow.
That's all we got for current events.
All we
Thanks,
got for
guys.
events.
This
That
has
was
been
a
good
whirlwind.
episode. How long has this episode been, Kyle?
Just over an hour and 1 minute.
Perfect. This is perfect. Any,
So-
that
any
felt
last
good.
words you guys have before you never come on again?
Thanks
Oh.
for those of you
Thanks for
who
the laugh.
remained for the last 50 minutes who
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Really,
in, I
they were
would've been
just
like, I
here
got somewhere
for us to talk
be.
about our Instagram
Yeah.
influencing, and then they.
Allie
so
and
if
I
you're
do
still
plan
here-
to continue to encourage you. Once all of us are perfectly healthy, that's when we'll stop.
Yeah. So we got our jobs to do.
It'll be soon.
Since you're listening to the end, it means you probably care about this studio, this podcast.
Us.
Maybe
Who's the
at
guy
least two of the
who
three people
visited?
sitting here. What?
Yeah, I'm throwing on it. Who's the guy that visited? Benji? Benny?
Benji. No,
Benji.
Bennett.
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 Ugh.
Benny. He
Benny.
goes by Benny.
Benny.
Um,
It's like #1 fan.
I'm not trying to make this like a sympathy thing, but just to let people know, we had two not major but not minor leaks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
We're
But
fine.
I think what we've all learned is that
All of us.
patreon.com/the show is the best way
Best way to support
to
this.
make sure that the devil doesn't rainwater down
we don't want any
on top
devil
of that.
rainwater.
Yeah. So,
That's really good.
Johnny, any last words?
I'm just gonna toss the ball to Allie. Allie, any last words?
Yep. Nope.
You guys can leave us a voicemail at 817-527-1423.
423.
Next time we,
1423.
next time hopefully we'll have some voicemails. Stay safe out there. Don't spit in anyone's mouth, and don't
Don't.
let anyone spit in yours.
Clean up your maggots, people.
If you
Thanks,
go to
guys.
Brahms,
It's been a
wear
great
a mask.
show.
Woo!